Hold it! Spoilers ahead. You've been warned. Welcome back to part 2 of my in-depth breakdown of Ace Attorney character names. Last time I covered these characters, so if you're interested in any of those names, watch part 1, which I have linked below. Before we start, it's important to note that when the original Ace Attorney trilogy was translated to English, they also localized it to be set in California, USA. In the original versions of the game, they are in Japan. Also, in Japanese, names are usually family name first, given name second, but I'm going to say them Western style for convenience. Also, my pronunciation is far from perfect, but I will try my best. Today, we're starting out in our Steel Samurai arc with Will Powers, the Steel Samurai actor. His English name is a reference to having willpower, which is the ability to control one's own actions, emotions, or urges, or also can mean strong determination that allows one to do something difficult. His Japanese name is Saburo Niboshi. Saburo means third son. It's literally the kanji for 3, and son. It's never mentioned that Will Powers has siblings, but perhaps. Although the kanji are different, his last name comes from the word niboshi, meaning dried sardines. It was confirmed that he was named this because even though something is small, like a sardine, it can still have the dream of being a star. Next, we have the actor that played the evil magistrate, Jack Hammer. Jack Hammer, as in a literal jackhammer. His Japanese name is Takashi Ibukuro. Takashi is a common name that can be spelled with many different kanji. The kanji in this version of Takashi are art of war or military arts and will, intention, ambition, which is interesting as he works with will powers. And combined, these kanji mean warrior, which is also interesting as he was working on the Steel Samurai warrior of Neo Old Tokyo, which in Japanese is Oedo Senshi Tono-saman, which translates as Great Edo Warrior Tono-saman. With his last name, the kanji are different again, but Ibukuro comes from the word for stomach, which is where this character was stabbed. Cody Hackins, Steel Samurai fanboy. Cody Hackins is a pun for code hacking, as he is known to be smart and great at using the computer despite his age. Not great with a camera, though. His Japanese name, Kyuta Otaki, doesn't have any meaning. Many people think it's meant to be similar to otaku, which means like nerd, geek, or enthusiast, as he is a Steel Samurai otaku, but the creator says that this was unintended, although he says it does make sense. Penny Nichols. Penny Nichols comes from the coins, pennies and nickels. I personally think that since she was not a super important character, this was just a cute throwaway name, but some fans think that since she collects Steel Samurai trading cards, and some people collect coins, it's a reference to her being a collector. Her Japanese name, Yumiko Mamiya, also doesn't really have any meaning. The legendary Wendy Oldbag. Wendy Oldbag is a pun for windy old bag, which can also be flipped to old windbag. Old because she's old, and windbag meaning a person who talks at length but says little of value, which is extremely fitting. It also sounds similar to old hag. Her Japanese name is Kaoru Oba. Oba means grandma, although it is also used to refer to very old women that you do not know. It's a reference, again, to her being old. Side note, do not call someone Oba in real life. I saw a claim that Kaoru means smell, so her name is smells like an old person. But kaoru means to smell sweet or to be fragrant, which has like a more pleasant connotation than haha, you smell like an old person. But it is possible that's the joke. It's also a possibility that her name is a play on big idiot, as if you drop the oru from her name and say it in Japanese style, you get o baka. O meaning big and baka, I'm sure you've heard in anime, meaning idiot. Salmonella, the Steel Samurai director. Salmonella is a play on Salmonella, the bacteria, probably because he's sweaty, gross, and drools over women. His Japanese name is Takuya Uzai. We had a claim for a name coming from otaku earlier, but in this case it really does. Otaku, Takuya. And Uzai is a colloquial term for annoying, so he is an annoying otaku. Dee Vasquez, the Steel Samurai producer. Dee Vasquez is a play on diva, diva squez. Her Japanese name is Sakura Himegami. Sakura is a cherry blossom and Himegami is goddess, so fitting for a beautiful diva. And now we have the video game character that annoys me more than any other. When he wags his finger at me, I want to punch him. Manfred von Karma. Manfred von Karma is a very German name, as he's from Germany. My knowledge of German is abysmal, so let me know if I'm wrong. Manfred means man of peace. I feel like that was not intentional, or maybe it was supposed to be ironic. Von can be used by nobility, and I think in this case it was meant to show that he's like wealthy, powerful, and connected. Although commoners in the past also use von to mean from, so it could be like name Von City. which meant that person was from that city. Karma is from his Japanese name and fitting because in the end, karma bit this man in the ass, as it should. There's an amazing theory that his full name is also a reference to Manfred von Richthofen, aka the Red Baron, a German fighter pilot with an amazing win streak, eventually taken down by a single bullet. That is extremely clever, and I love that so much. Go Karuma is his Japanese name. Go is a single kanji meaning overpowering, great, powerful, excelling, and Australia. Striking out the Australia one, this is fitting for him. There's a word goka, which uses a different kanji but means effects of karma. Seems like it may be related. It can be made with a few different kanji formations though. One becomes extravagant, lavish, luxurious. One means hellfire, and another is wealthy and powerful family. All could be applied, although there is no confirmation from the creator. Karma is karma. I won't get into it too much, but when English words are used in Japanese, they have to adapt the pronunciation. If you're interested, I've linked an article about loanwords from Japanese Pod 101. Karma is made of two kanji. The first is hunting, and the second is demon, devil, evil spirit. The hunter kanji is interesting because in the French version of Ace Attorney, the Edgeworth family is the hunter family, and Miles is very connected to Von Karma. But all of the demon, devil, hellfire, also fitting for a man that I hate so very much. Lotta Heart. Lotta Heart is for a lot of heart because she is kind and means well. Her Japanese name is Natsumi o Sawagi. Natsumi is a common name that I didn't find anything for, and the kanji isn't relevant. But o Sawagi is also a word meaning clamor, uproar, or furor, which is fitting as she's loud and always causing a commotion. Yani Yogi. A yogi is someone who does yoga, but I'm unsure if that's relevant. Yani comes from Yanis, a common Greek name that is a variant of John and means God is generous. Some people said it sounds similar to Yanni, and he is always falling asleep in the middle of talking. This character was originally going to be a poet, and this is reflected in his Japanese name, Heine Kotaro. His first name comes from Heinrich Heine, a German poet who was related to and friends with Karl Marx, and his surname comes from Kotaro Takamura, a Japanese poet and sculptor who wrote poems about his wife who passed away, which is fitting as Yanni's fiancé passed away as well. The kanji for Heine are ash or ashes, and the kanji for root, source, or origin, which is interesting as ashes were the root of his grudge. Robert Hammond. I don't believe his English name has meaning. I'm also not sure about his Japanese name, which is Yukio Namakura, but although it's not the same kanji, Namakura can mean blunt or dull, which is interesting as Edgeworth and Gumshoe have names related to blade sharpness. It can also mean good for nothing, which you decide. This is the one I've been waiting for. I'm going on a tangent, but it'll come back around in the end, and it is worth it. Missile, or in Japanese, misairu, same word like karma and karuma. So, there are actually 4 missiles. Stay with me. In Ace Attorney the game, there is a police Shiba Inu, which we first see, and then later a Pomeranian named Missile in Ace Attorney the anime that basically belongs to Miles Edgeworth, although it's a long story. Shu Takumi, the creator of Ace Attorney, has another game called Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which also has a Pomeranian named Missile, who is the goodest boy in the entire world. Side note, if you have not, play Ghost Trick. It is phenomenal, and I adore it. They put it on Nintendo Switch recently, so go, play it. Anyways, what's with 3 different dogs named Missile? Well, let me show you the 4th Missile. Shu Takumi's real-life Pomeranian. He put his own dog in his games, which is so sweet and cute. We don't know for sure if the Shiba Inu Missile came first and then he named his real-life dog after it, or if that one was also named after his real-life dog and just made a Shiba because a Pomeranian police dog would be strange. It's been speculated that if the Shiba came first, it was named because he shoots off like a missile when he catches a scent. But again, his real-life dog could have been Missile first. Either way, I love it so much. Let the parrot take the stand. Polly. Polly is just a generic name for parrots, and in case you're curious, I'll link a Mental Floss article about why this is. Her Japanese name is Sayuri, which is just a super common Japanese name. Next, we have the Sky Sisters. I assume Sky is from Sky, which seems related to their Japanese names. Lana and Emma seem to be random, though. Their last name in Japanese is Hodzuki, which comes from 2 kanji, treasure and moon. Sky and moon, kind of related. Their Japanese first names, Tomoe and Akane, also seem to be random, but I've seen some people say Akane possibly comes from the phrase Akane Sasu Sora, meaning a glowing sky, which also fits with sky, so maybe. Then we have Damon Gant. Damon is probably for demon or demon. Gant comes from his Japanese name, Ganto. His full Japanese name is Kaiji Ganto. Kaiji with different kanji can mean release of information slash legal discourse, which is interesting. His kanji, though, are rock, crag, or boulder, and this one means a lot of things. On foot, junior, emptiness, vanity, futility, ephemeral thing, gang, set, party, people. Ganto is also two kanji, first being sea or ocean, and the second being mercy. I've seen it said that his name could be based on an old Chinese saying, "You can pick on the mountains, but don't pick on the sea, because the sea is merciless." However, if you search this quote or variations of it, the only thing that comes up is people copying and pasting it in relation to Ace Attorney, and I can't even find the original Chinese quote anywhere. I have no sources for Chinese or anything, though, so that's out of my wheelhouse. So if anyone knows anything about this, let me know, but I literally found no information about it. It would be interesting, though, since he always asks people, "Been swimming lately?" Then we have the brothers Jake and Neil Marshall. Marshall comes from marshal, the word for a type of law enforcement official in the Wild West, which is fitting since Jake is very Wild West themed. This is speculation, but it's possible that Jake Marshall equals fake Marshall and Neil Marshall equals real Marshall, as Jake ends up breaking the law and Neil upholds it. The Japanese surname Zaimon has two kanji. The first is sin or crime, and the second is gate or door. Gateway to sin, perhaps? Kyosuke, Jake's first name in Japanese, has two kanji. The first one means respectful, and the second one, in a throwback to the last episode, can mean shellfish. Naoto, Neil's first name, can have a few variations, but this one means honesty. Angel Star. Angel Star is meant to be a very pretty name, but the angel part is ironic, as while she can appear angelic at first, she really isn't. Speaking of which, her English nickname is the Cough-Up Queen, because when she was a detective, she was known for getting confessions. In Japanese, her nickname is pretty similar, Gero Mamire no Okyo. Gero Mamire means covered in spew or vomit, but gero can also mean confessions, so it can be read as covered in confessions. No is a possessive particle, and Okyo is a nickname of sorts for Kyoka, her first name in Japanese, so think of it like Kyoka, who is covered in confessions. The vomiting aspect makes it very similar to cough up, which is interesting. Her full Japanese name is Kyoka Ichinotani. Kyoka is two kanji, echo or resonance, and splendor, flower, ostentatious, gorgeous. The second kanji, very fitting. Kyoka is a word with many meanings for different kanji combinations, such as strengthening, reinforcement, or this one can be offering of flowers at a shrine or a grave. But her specific kanji combination doesn't seem to have a particular meaning beyond being a name. Ichi no Tani is the kanji for city or market, possessive particle no, and the kanji for valley. If you swap the first kanji for the number 1, it's the name of a location of a famous battle in 1184, which is probably not relevant, but if it is somehow, let me know. Mike Meekins. Popular theory is that Mike is short for microphone, as he uses a megaphone, and Meekins comes from meek, which means quiet, gentle, and easily imposed on or submissive. This makes sense, he's an overly polite character. His Japanese name, Susumu Harabai, was picked to go with Bruce Goodman's name, who I will talk about next. Susumu can mean to advance or to proceed. Harabai is field, meadow, and ash/ashes, but with a different spelling. Harabai means lying on one's belly, crawling on one's belly, or belly crawl. Put together, his name can mean crawl forward. Bruce Goodman. Goodman equals good man. His Japanese name, Michio Tadashiki. Michio is the kanji for road, moral, or way of living, and husband or man, so it could be moral man, very similar to good man. Tadashiki comes from tadashi, meaning right, correct, or justice. Our final character for the day is Joe Dark, who has one of the funniest motivations for his crimes. Joe is the English version of Joe, his Japanese given name. Dark because he has a dark nature and a shadowy past. Joe Dark is also similar to John Doe, which is a placeholder name used in the US and British legal system when a person's name is unknown. Joe Aokage is his Japanese name. Aokage is a combination of two kanji, the first meaning blue, sometimes green but only in specific instances, or young, and the second meaning shadow. The combination means blue shadow. Shadow we already talked about. Why it's a blue one, I don't know. I've seen the theory that it means pale shadow, and I'm not sure about that. The kanji for blue/young can turn into pale if it's made into an E adjective, aoi, although aoi still usually means blue. Pale shadow or light shadow would usually be awai kage, the E adjective form of the kanji for light, faint, pale, fleeting, and then the same kanji for shadow we've been discussing. It's possible his name does mean Pale Shadow, but not according to any of the sources I use, so I'm pretty sure it's Blue Shadow, but if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But with that, we have officially covered all of the characters from the first game, plus a few bonuses. The next video will be all of the characters from Justice for All, minus Pearl, who I snuck into the first video. Please leave me comments if you've got any interesting information, corrections, favorite names, favorite characters, questions, etc. I would love to talk about Ace Attorney with you. Bye!